All right, so are you ready to dive into the world of megachurches?
I am definitely ready.
Today, we're looking at Southeast Christian Church.
One of the largest in the U.S.
Yeah, and you've been asking about what makes these churches tick, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, their website is a goldmine of information,
Awesome.
so we're going to unpack it all.
Sounds good.
First, we're going to scope out their overall vibe, and then we'll dig into some of the stories that really stood out to us.
Megachurches are fascinating,
They are.
especially like how they balance that massive scale with a sense of personal connection.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how Southeast Christian Church pulls it off.
Well, get ready for a whole lot of love,
Oh,
because their tagline, loving people one at a time, is everywhere.
really?
Just seriously.
Wow.
Like their version of Live, Laugh, Love, but for church.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Repeating a phrase like that definitely emphasizes a core value. It's almost like they're trying to address that lost in the crowd feeling you might expect
Yeah.
from a megachurch.
Yeah. And speaking of crowds, their website boasts multiple campuses and a serious online presence.
Oh, wow.
They even offer 247 streaming of their services.
Wow, that's smart.
It is.
That significantly widens their reach,
Right.
letting them potentially love way more people
Yeah.
than just those who can physically attend services.
Yeah, they're adapting
Right.
to how people consume content
Exactly.
these days.
Yeah.
They're also big on putting that love into action with a huge emphasis on generosity and community engagement,
Oh, wow.
volunteering mission trips, disaster relief.
So they're not just talking the talk.
They're not just talking the talk.
They're walking the walk.
That's right.
That's interesting how they connect loving people to tangible actions.
Right.
It suggests they see their role as extending beyond Sunday service.
Yeah.
Almost like a community hub with faith at its core.
Okay, so we've got the big picture.
Oh, okay.
Now let's zoom in on some of the personal stories they highlight.
Okay.
First up is Beth. They describe her as a survivor who found strength through her faith, overcoming some serious hardship, although they keep the specifics kind of under wraps.
It's that classic inspirational story approach,
Yeah.
leaving you curious to know more
Right.
while emphasizing the transformative power of faith. It makes you wonder if Beth's story resonates with others in the congregation,
Yeah.
creating a shared experience of overcoming challenges through faith.
Next up is a story that definitely caught my eye.
Oh,
Kevin and the pig.
Kevin and the pig. Okay.
Apparently Kevin received a pig as a gift, and honestly, I'm still trying to figure out what the pig symbolizes. I don't know.
It's like they sprinkled a bit of whimsy into the mix after a heavier story like Beth's.
Right.
The pig story injects a dose of humor
Right.
and reminds us that faith communities aren't all serious all the time.
Yeah.
It's a good reminder that shared experiences can also be joyful and lighthearted.
Okay, back to the stories that tug at the heartstrings. Haley's story is about a student whose life took a tough turn when her caretaker couldn't keep custody, and a family from the church stepped in, offering her a loving home,
Wow.
essentially becoming her family.
Haley's story goes beyond just offering emotional support.
Right.
It shows them stepping up to provide practical help,
Yeah,
a safe and stable environment when someone in their community needed it most.
absolutely.
You have to wonder how many other churches are doing this kind of direct intervention.
Yeah.
It speaks volumes about their commitment to youth and to their loving people motto.
Then there's Shelby, who's faced a bunch of challenges. They specifically mentioned challenging diagnoses,
Okay.
but she's apparently found a way to redefine victory and joy through her faith. Again, they leave out the nitty-gritty details, keeping the focus on her resilience.
Shelby's story tackles the tough question of finding hope and meaning amidst suffering. It speaks to the power of faith to help people cope with difficult realities
Yeah.
and find a sense of purpose even when life throws curveballs.
Yeah.
They're showing how faith can be a source of strength and perspective,
Yeah.
even in the darkest of times.
That's right.
Yeah.
They're definitely hitting on a lot of different
Facets of faith.
right, and how
Help
elegant.
people
Yeah.
in their lives.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is really interesting.
It is.
It's amazing how much they're able to convey
Right.
just through their website.
And we're only on like the first page still.
I know there's so much more to unpack here.
I know.
I'm excited to see what else we find.
Me too.
All right, let's keep digging.
Let's do it.
Welcome back to our deep dive into Southeast Christian Church.
Okay.
We just finished exploring some of the personal stories
Yeah.
that they showcase on their website.
Uh-huh.
Those stories are powerful, but, with anything you find online,
Right.
it's important to engage with those stories with a healthy dose of critical thinking.
Right. They definitely tug at your heartstrings.
Yeah.
But we have to remember.
They're just a snapshot,
Yeah.
one carefully curated piece
Exactly.
of a much larger picture.
Every story is told from a specific perspective.
Yeah.
And it's important to recognize that there might be more to the story than what's being presented.
So we shouldn't just take those stories at face value.
Right.
How can we be more discerning without dismissing their experiences entirely?
It's all about asking the right questions.
Yeah.
Who chose these particular stories?
Right.
What message are they hoping to convey? And what perspectives might be missing?
It's almost like we need to become internet detectives, carefully examining the evidence and considering different angles before drawing any conclusions.
I like that analogy.
Yeah.
It's about being curious and going beyond the surface level.
Right.
For example, we saw how these stories emphasize individual transformation through faith, which is a powerful message.
It is.
But it also makes you wonder, how does this individual focus translate into action on social justice issues?
That's a great point. They talk about loving people, but we haven't seen much about how they address systemic issues like poverty, inequality, or racial injustice.
Right.
Does their outreach primarily focus on individuals, or are they tackling these larger societal challenges as well?
Exactly. It's possible they're doing a lot of work in those areas that they haven't highlighted on their website. Or maybe their primary focus is on individual spiritual growth and personal transformation.
It reminds me of the saying, actions speak louder than words.
Yeah.
We can appreciate the individual stories, but it's also important to look for evidence of how their loving people philosophy plays out in their actions within the community.
Absolutely. And here's another question we might ask.
Okay.
How welcoming is Southeast Christian Church to people from diverse backgrounds and beliefs?
Right.
They say everyone is welcome, which is a beautiful sentiment.
It is.
But creating a truly inclusive environment takes more than just words.
Right. It's one thing to say everyone.
Absolutely. It's about asking those tough questions, seeking out diverse perspectives, and being willing to challenge our own assumptions. And sometimes it's about accepting that there might not be easy answers, just more avenues to explore.
So as we move into the final part of our deep dive, I'm curious to see what other layers we'll uncover and what insights we'll gain.
Me too. There's still so much to unpack, and I'm eager to see where our critical thinking takes us next.
Welcome back. So as we wrap up our deep dive into Southeast Christian Church, I'm thinking about how much we've covered.
It's been quite a journey.
It has.
We started by just exploring their website and getting a sense of their overall vibe and the key messages they're putting out there. But then we put on our critical thinking caps.
Right.
And we dug deeper into those personal stories and considered what might be missing from the picture.
Exactly. We talked about how those stories, while powerful, were carefully chosen to highlight specific aspects of the church. And that led us to some bigger questions.
Yes, it did.
About their approach to social justice issues, diversity and inclusion.
It's all about looking beyond the surface level and recognizing that there's always more to the story than what's initially presented. And that's a valuable skill to have no matter what you're researching or learning about.
So as we bring this deep dive to a close, what are some key takeaways you hope our listeners will remember?
First and foremost, I want them to walk away feeling empowered.
Okay.
To ask those tough questions.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to challenge assumptions. Seek out diverse perspectives and dig a little deeper to get the full picture.
It's like we've given them a mental toolkit for navigating the world of information.
Exactly.
Especially in this age of carefully curated online content.
Exactly. And secondly, I hope they've gained a deeper appreciation for the complexities of faith communities.
Yeah.
You know, Southeast Christian Church has clearly found a formula that works for them.
Yeah.
But it's not the only way to live out one's faith.
Right. It's a good reminder that there's a wide spectrum of beliefs and practices within Christianity and beyond.
Absolutely. What resonates with one person or community might not resonate with another, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Ultimately, I want our listeners to walk away with a sense of curiosity and a desire to keep exploring. There's always more to learn, more to question, and more to discover about the world around us.
But don't just take our word for it. Go out there and do your own research. What aspects of Southeast Christian Church intrigue you? What questions do you still have? Maybe you'll be inspired to visit one of their services, connect with members, or even delve into their online sermons.
Exactly. This deep dive was just the starting point.
Right.
Now it's your turn to explore, think critically, and draw your own conclusions.
About Southeast Christian Church.
About Southeast Christian Church. That's it for this deep dive into Southeast Christian Church.
We'll catch you next time on The Deep Dive. where we'll be unpacking another fascinating topic.
And uncovering the hidden gems within.
Until then, happy exploring